25-year-old member of the National Youth Service Corp has reportedly died of Lassa fever at a secondary health facility in ljebu North local government area of Ogun State. ATN learned that the female corp member who fell sick while in Ondo State was brought to the health facility last Tuesday and later died same day. This was contained in the statement signed by the Commissioner for Health, Tomi Koka, on Wednesday. Koka also confirmed the outbreak of Lassa fever in the state. The statement reads, Ogun State has confirmed the case of Lassa fever and as such declared Lassa fever outbreak. Lassa fever is a viral hemorrhagic disease that presents with high-grade fever, headache, general body weaknesses, sore throats, muscle pain, cough, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, chest pain, and unexplained bleeding from the ears, eyes, nose, mouth, and other body openings. Koka urged members of the community to report to the hospital if any of the listed symptoms is noticed. We employ members of the community to promptly report to the hospital if they notice any of the symptoms. Any case of febrile illness that has not responded to 48 hours use of anti-malaria or antibiotics should raise an index of suspicion for Lassa fever. Nigeria is experiencing a large outbreak of Lassa fever with 4,702 suspected cases, 5 probable cases, and 877 confirmed cases between epidemiological weeks 1 and 15 out of since 2023, a week ending since 16 April. Among confirmed cases, there has been 152 death cases. This is a 20% increase in confirmed cases in comparison with those reported during the same period in 2022. Cases have been reported from 101 local government areas in 26 out of 36 states, including the Federal Capital Territory. A high proportion of confirmed cases, about 72%, are concentrated in 3 states, which are Ondo about 32%, Edo 29%, and Bauchi 11%. Laboratory confirmed cases have been reported in states bordering Cameroon, Adamawa, Benue, Cross Rivers, and Taraba, and states bordering Benin, Oyo, and Niger states, Niger states. If I'm trying to, I hope I'm not mistaken, but that's literally it. This whole report is just to make us understand the whole situation, how serious it has actually turned out to be. I'd love to get your thoughts on what you make of this, please, sir.
First and foremost, I think it's a very tragic one because the Youth Service Corps is like an hallmark of a student's life, or the beginning of a student's life after school. And every student would want a situation, or be looking at a situation whereby after youth service, you want to explore the world, you want to give back to your society, what you believe you have acquired as in knowledge and in learning and possibly character as well. And you'll be very, very enthusiastic about getting into what they call labor market, and everybody you want to just get your life started. And something like Lassa fever, or an illness like Lassa fever, takes such a person out. I can imagine such a person paying 100,000 naira for acceptance fee, if we're talking about school fees for maybe 4 or 5 years, as the case may be. And just at the prime of the person's life, where families begin to believe that there's supposedly a benefit for all these labels, and at the end of it all, the person's life is cut short with Lassa fever. It is painful, it is disturbing, and I think the government should do 1,000 times more. It is, yes, we will virtually want to be politically correct as to make it look like it is an epidemic. It can happen anywhere and to anyone, and then Nigerians must be careful. I think one of the ways to curb it is to ensure that your foods are covered. I think Lassa fever is from the one rat, the black rat with a long, a pointed mouth. I think it is important and imperative that people who have collected so much money in rentage should be able to galvanize themselves as well, because it is not a good thing that people can say that people died in your facility. If it's an organized estate, I think it is time to do proper fumigations. I think it is not out of place to get those things done. And I think government should begin to make some level of demand from property owners. It is a pitiable situation that we are looking at a case study of a core member. I mean, I just can imagine what the family will be going through mentally, because so much has been lost. However, I think these things can be managed with a more organized system from government. The medical sector in the Nigerian state, we know what was budgeted for it. It's a pity that that's what was budgeted. However, it is high time that before people start showing the rascality of power in the place of stolen wealth, because many of our politicians with so much powers have little or no businesses tied to their names. They only have whatever they have today from the moment they ascended that same power. And in the course of ascending that power, the kind of businesses they have, you cannot use it to translate to the kind of wealth that they are flaunting here and there. So I think it is high time that the National Assembly does more in scrutinizing the budget. Instead of what a pity, we're talking about the National Assembly that we should scrutinize the budget, the National Assembly that we are being accused on a regular of padding the same budget. So at the end of it all, even if the budget has been padded, we want to say that whatever the budget that was budgeted for whatever should be allowed or should be scrutinized and watched, seen to it that it is used to carry out that particular thing that it was budgeted for. Because I can tell you, Lassa fever is one thing that I think we can avoid. Proper fumigation can avoid it. Proper education can avoid it. So hygiene can avoid it. So I think government should do more. We cannot be losing lives to disease of this nature, more so lives of a prospect in a core member.
Thank you so much on your analysis, Comrade Chuba. But I also want us to look at, yes, you've pointed out how to, stay safe, keep our environment clean. I would almost mistake you as a health practitioner, because you literally listed most of the necessity that should be considered in this aspect. Okay, let's look at the parts where most of these core members are being sent or deployed to remote villages where they do not have the facilities for this fumigation, the health measures that you mentioned. We know how this started. I know few people that were actually deployed to certain states or cities that the facilities there were nothing to write home about. Their training center, where actually the schools where they actually had to serve for the period of time were literally nothing good. The water that they consumed were just nothing good. Okay, let's look at that aspect where most of these core members are taken to remote villages that are really out of place, do not have government intervention, government attention in those villages. How would that, because we can look at that from that angle. You can see most of the stress at any place, and mostly in these remote villages. How would that, be put into consideration?
You see, like I initially reiterated in my preamble, that government should do more. Even the institution itself, the national, the NYSC, it should do more. The core as an organization must do more with education and reorientation of our members. One of the orientations that every member should have is first personal hygiene. Personal hygiene, that is why it is called personal. If the core as an organization realizes that you are sending people, vulnerable people, there are some Nigerians who went to their nursery, primary, secondary, and university within an enclave. There is a lifestyle completely domiciled with them. They are used to it. They know this lifestyle. If such people are being taken out of this lifestyle for any reasons whatsoever, which we cannot shove aside in the name of National Youth Service Corp, it is important that the NYSC organization should be able to equally, in the course of orientation, give them these orientations of strong personal hygiene, most especially for those that are going to be sent to remote environments. The things that you are expecting in these places are X, Y, and B. On this note, you should make sure that the grasses that should be close to your house should be, a centimeter as it were. Just give them some advice. Then if the person gets there, the person now knows that this place is possible. Listen, the first time I think I ever heard of Lassa fever, I think it was in 1991, that broke out somewhere in Edo State and all. It is imperative that we must understand that some environments are prone to this, or they have some traces of these rats that cause these diseases. Not just Lassa fever, not just rats. We're talking about personal hygiene in all its forms. Okay. It is important and imperative that the organization educates our members, reorientates them, letting them understand that we need to ensure that our environment, firstly, are clean. Secondly, our foods that we must consume, because it's something that goes through our mouth, we must do well to cover them. We must do well to cover them. However, we know the cost of living is difficult or is high, such that getting a fridge, a refrigerator, and in a place where there's no light might be difficult. And trying to have food as at when you need them, go buy them now, wash them, prepare them, fresh food and eat, and it's going to be very costly. Okay. But for the sake of your lives, you should be able to work out a timetable, a mechanism that should work for you wherever you find yourself. It's a 1-year program. That's for the core members. But for the generality of the Nigerian space, it is important and imperative that local councils even go the step further to educate people. More so, why it is called National Youth Service Corp. It is important that we must understand that these people, government has a responsibility. I have said it again and again. It is not a must. I was supposed to serve many years back when I graduated. I spent about 3 years before going to service, because you cannot take me to places I consider completely unhealthy for me. I'm not living the life for anybody. Anyone that dies doesn't count anymore. If you look at your environment or where you're posted to and it is not healthy for you, you how do you call it? You redeploy. If you cannot redeploy, you step down for that year. It will not listen, it will cost you some time, as it seems. But I can tell you, the people that have graduated 30 years before you, some of them have never worked. The ones that are going to graduate tomorrow might never work. They might even never, not that they don't want to work, but the work might not just be there. So it's not that we're living by chance, but we need to make ourselves, develop ourselves even more, and decide where and how we want to really function. Because I can tell you for free that some of these people being deployed are consciously being deployed into arm's way with the state of things in Nigeria today. And when they are deployed into arm's way, it is not in NYSC's place to tell you that you know this is arm's way. You are informed. That's why you went to school. Sure. You should be able to say, this place, oh no, for real, I have to either redeploy or I get to let it go. Because whether you like it or yes, only the person that is alive that has any regrets. True. The one that is dead does not have regrets. So it is better that you're alive, you have regrets, and you can make amends than you are no more.
Thank you so much, Al.